My name ring bells in my motherfucking town. At the Audi lot, I'm trying to hold a couple down.
Mama don't like those wicked clowns. You might come from a dark side of town. What up, fam? It's your boy Rarri Vuitton. I'm here with another episode of Rarri Talks Rap. Today I'm going to be talking about something very near and dear to my heart. One of my favorite artists of all time, the Insane Clown Posse. I'm going to be ranking the first 6 Joker's cards. I'll spare y'all the details of the different Joker's cards in the decks. You can go do your own research. The real juggalos watching this video know what time it is. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. Number 6 for me has to be the Wraith. 6 Joker's card. This is still a good album. Mike Puwal did a bulk of the production. I think all of it. This was the first album where they didn't utilize Mikey Clark, which was the big missing piece for me. Yeah, just missing that magic those 3 guys created. 2 through 5 were all produced entirely by Mikey Clark, and then obviously a few records on Carnival of Carnage as well. But whether it was Shangri-La, Hell's Pit, either part of that, for me were okay albums. I do tend to like Shangri-La more than Hell's Pit. There are a handful of songs and tracks that I enjoy on that album. Homies obviously being an easy one, but I also enjoy Birthday Bitches, Ain't Your Business. Blam is a good record as well. So there's some cool records on here. It feels at times a little overproduced, a little too much going on. Again, having to rank these, I do like the album, I enjoy it, but not something that is in my consistent rotation of ICP. So I know Hell's Pit had a flurry of some of their big TikTok records, so I think a lot of the younger juggalos really gravitate to the 6th. For me personally though, I'm 32 years old. Yeah, this one didn't hit as hard for me, and the main reason just being that Mikey Clark was missing from the production. Everybody's got a different opinion on it. There's plenty of juggalos out there that would rank this first. That's the beauty of it. Moving on now though, I'm going down to number 5. I promise I'm not going in order here, but I am giving it to the 5th card, which is the amazing Jekyll Brothers. Here's my logic when I'm putting this list together. Like, the first 4 are all on a level, in my opinion, that like, depending on the given day, they could all like probably be first, because I'm obsessed with the first 4 albums. I listen to them constantly. This one I listen to just a little less. I like about half of the songs, but there's a few that I just don't care for. Another thing about the Jekyll Brothers album that just feels a little different from the first 4. You know, I understand what they were trying to do, get a little more commercial exposure, get some big names on the project, but you've heard the story with ODB on the Bitches song. For me personally, those features didn't add anything to it. Some of my favorite songs from this though, my very favorite is I Stab People. I also like Mad Professor, Everybody Rise, Assassins. I like the Jekyll, interludes. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna move along now. Ranking these first 4 for me is difficult because I love all of these albums front to back, but where I sit right now, so unfortunately when I look at the track list and how many tracks I truly love, I have to put Ringmaster at 4. Maybe you were thinking, oh, he's wearing the Ringmaster jersey, he must be ranking Ringmaster first. Perfect diversion technique to throw you off the scent, because it's not first, it's actually 4. I felt like for Ringmaster, this was an album when they really started to lean into the dark carnival themes, and you saw a lot more of those, whereas Carnival of Carnage felt like it had more of that Dog Beats, Inner City Posse influence. Ringmaster started to really explore some of those themes. One of my personal favorite songs is Wagon, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that just kind of embodies that idea of the carnival rolling through town. I ranked this 4th, but there's some of my very favorite ICP songs on here. Wagon, Southwest Song, Murder Go Round, Mr. Johnson's Head, Get Off Me Dog, OG Chicken Hunting, which is super fire. I didn't start getting into Psychopathic till maybe like 5 or 6. I tend to like the Slaughterhouse remix, but I know a lot of the older OG juggalos that were down when these things were coming out seem like they prefer the original version. So, to each their own, but regardless, whatever version of that track is obviously iconic, obviously legendary. The Loons, can't forget the Loons too. That's a crazy great record. Also like Bugs on My Nuts. I always wanted them, that last little snippet, like that outro on Bugs on My Nuts, I always wish they would have made a song to that Mikey Clark little funky beat as they're just kind of talking on the outro, and I'm like, damn, I wish this was an actual song. This beat is crazy. This was entirely Mikey Clark. This is when they locked in for the first time, like the whole way through, I believe. Yeah, again, gun to my head, I have to rank them. I have to put Ringmaster 4, which sets me up for the other one. On the 3-4, where do I put what? Number 3, I've got Carnival of Carnage. I'm going with the original Joker's card, the very first. Absolute classic. What I love about Carnival of Carnage is when I first started really listening to ICP and really getting into it, this wasn't my favorite album initially. It's older and it's more raw. I believe it was like, what, 92? So I wasn't even born yet. I was born in 93. But over time, this album really grew on me. Another nugget of this, you get a Kid Rock N-bomb dropped in this tape, which I always find funny and kind of ironic based on, you know, how Kid Rock kind of rolls these days. But anyway, some of my favorite tracks on here, Guts on the Ceiling is beyond fresh. Redneck Ho is a classic. I like that better than the remake that they did on the Psychopathics from Outer Space. Carnival of Carnage, produced by Esham, which is fresh. It's just cool, man. I love seeing those little nuggets. The older I get, the more I appreciate the older albums like that, where you can really hear that era, where you can really feel that rawness of it. Legendary classic album. There's not much more to be said about it. All right, so we're moving on to the final two. These are both perfect albums in my opinion. I just happen to prefer one more than the other. So at number 2, I am going to rate The Great Milenko. This was my favorite album for a long time. Over time, I found myself leaning towards a different album. The only songs I don't care for on this tape, I'm not a huge fan of the Ned Game. Not because it's a commercial song, that doesn't bother me. I just don't love it. It's not my favorite record. Piggy Pie is okay. I know some people love that record. It's okay for me, but yeah, the rest of the project is perfect. This was perfectly executed when it comes to inserting rock elements into the hip hop. They did it super tastefully to where it gave it that sound, but it didn't take away from the essence of the hip hop. It didn't bleed through too much or blur the lines between the genres too much. It was just tasteful additions to the production that added rock elements. Masterful. Mikey Clark, you know, Legs Diamond. One of my very favorite ICP songs of all time is How Many Times. I saw somebody say this about this album, and I thought this was interesting. If you were to show ICP to someone who never listened but was kind of curious to see if they would like it or not, you would probably give them Great Milenko and Riddle Box. If they don't like those albums, it's just not going to be for them. Obviously, there's the story about Disney pulling them off the shelves, which in turn gave them some really cool underground press that helped them boost their clout. It seems like the most known album to the mainstream. Yeah, big fan. Great Milenko again, front to back, great album. Everybody who's watching knows that it's a phenomenal album. Number 1 is Riddle Box. Riddle Box is my favorite ICP album of all time. This is a perfect record. Violent J, Shaggy 2 Dope, Mikey Clark. To me, this is what a Dark Carnival sounds like. This is the Dark Carnival personified. Just the way the production sounds, it sounds like an evil circus or something. You get the Riddle Box like kind of funky intro. That's one thing I love about ICP and Mikey Clark too. They always come with the funky intro that just kind of chops up a couple of little Riddle Box. I love how they just set them up like that. Then you come right into The Show Must Go On, which feels like a dark circus or something. I just think those three perfected that sound. Well-produced tracks that still have that upbeat funk, even though they're kind of creepy. Also, it's 1 hour and 11 minutes. I was born on 1/11, so it was written that I was chosen to listen to this album and for it to influence my life and to fall in love with everything that is the Juggalo world, everything that is psychopathic, ICP, Joker's Cards, Dark Carnival, you name it. I mean, this is just a Mikey Clark masterclass in production. There's a video on YouTube of Mikey Clark sitting there with Violent J. I think it's on his actual YouTube page, but he's sitting there with Violent J's writing as he's putting the Toy Box beat together. And man, it's just like, it blows my mind. It's so fresh to be able to see that footage. There was supposed to be more. He said like part 1 or something, and he never. There's like no. There should be more. If you got it, please. We need to see it. We need to see more of those behind the scenes making these albums because it's just the coolest shit ever. Overall, listen. ICP is one of the most inspiring artists to me personally. I marvel at their creativity. I marvel at their ability to be different but to be cool. To create something in hip-hop that was so unique. What they've given us and what they've given music and hip-hop is not to be understated. They're finally starting to get some of that credit that they deserve. But greatest live show I've ever seen. Greatest concept albums of all time, in my opinion. Violent J, probably one of the greatest storytelling rappers of all time that doesn't get enough credit in the hip-hop world. I just wanted to come on here, show my love for ICP, show my love for Mikey Clark, this first 6 Jokers cards. Overall, I love all these albums. They're all amazing. I know different juggalos have different ratings. Lots of people might have mine flipped upside down and ranked the other way. So however you look at it, all of these are incredible albums. Shout out to Insane Clown Posse. This has been Rarri Talks Rap. Thank you for checking it out. Whoop whoop. Brought to you by Suburbanite Records, hottest underground label in the streets right now. Peace.